Since Biden was elected, are there more people coming over?
Oh, yes.
I'm in the Texan border town of McAllen, where the Republicans are working overtime to flip this historically Democratic area red.
We have not had a Republican in over 100 years.
To do this, they'll need the support of the Hispanic community, which dominates much of South Texas.
We didn't join Trump. Trump joined us.
My name is Steven Edginton, and I'm a reporter from the Daily Telegraph.
I got called every name in the book, even racist.
I'm here in the US to make a series of films about the upcoming midterm elections. But should a 4-year-old, isn't that quite young for a gun?
I think it depends on the 4-year-old and the environment.
Here in Texas, I want to find out why so many Hispanics are switching to the party of Donald Trump.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
I started my journey in Edinburgh, a suburb of McAllen, situated just 30 minutes from the Mexican border. I had arranged to meet Myra, a first-generation Texan whose mother came to the United States from Mexico.
We were Trump before Trump. We didn't join Trump. Trump joined us. And it's a concept that people don't understand, but really think about it. Mexicans are conservative people. It's a conservative culture.
The Democrats have been adopting some more left-wing policies in terms of social policies, so critical race theory and wokeness and all of this stuff. Do you think they've taken Hispanics and Latino voters for granted?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely by waving their money in our faces. And it's disrespectful. Us Hispanics, Mexican Americans, we need to come back to our roots. We need to come back to God, because it's not about I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And we shouldn't teach our kids to live that life. Oh, do what you want to do. You want to paint your hair purple? Do whatever you want to do. Oh, you want to wear that? Okay, do what you want to do. We weren't raised like that. Mexicans don't raise their kids like that.
Let's talk about Donald Trump. Now, one of the pledges he made during the 2016 campaign was to build a wall along the US-Mexico border. And he also made some speeches about Mexicans who come here being rapists and criminals and stuff like that. Does that in any way worry you, that sort of language that Trump used, or do you support his sort of tough on immigration line?
I was never worried or concerned about those words, because coming from a Border Patrol family, we hear daily what kind of people cross. We can talk all day about how many wonderful people show up. That's great. I hear of how many rapists have gone through, how many murderers, how many drug cartel people. We hear every single day as a Border Patrol family. This circle of people hears what he's talking about. So why would he waste his time saying, hey, yes, good people, but listen, you don't understand how many bad ones come across. And sometimes, yeah, you do need the tough love. You do need to hear it in a different perspective, in a different angle, because then things don't come through to us.
Immigration has become a major issue in the midterm elections, with the US seeing record levels of illegal migration under President Biden. Myra's husband drove me to a nearby popular spot where many attempt to cross the border into the United States undetected. Okay, so can you explain where we are, what this is, what that is?
Yes. Well, we're standing right now, this is the United States, and that's Mexico. So we're at the Mexico-US border. So separating us is the Rio Grande River, and that is Miguel Alemán, Mexico.
And this is where a lot of people come and cross illegally?
Yes, this is where you have a lot of illegal immigration taking place and narcotics being crossed illegally.
So these people here, they're just sort of fishing, they're kind of wandering around?
That's the thing. Yeah, it looks like they're just having fun, you know what I mean?
But some of them might be in the cartel, maybe?
Yeah. Like, certain people might be out here for reasons other than, you know? I mean, your obvious people, like those people that are just having fun.
Yeah.
casting a net, trying to fish. But then there's some people that are out here, like those two gentlemen, they don't have any fishing equipment. They're not looking like they're gonna swim, so what are they doing out here?
And have you seen, since Biden was elected, are there more people coming over?
Oh,
or?
yes. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's causing also humanitarian crisis for them when they come over here, putting their lives in danger trying to cross over here. So, I mean, it's an issue. It's an issue that needs to be addressed, needs to stop being ignored.
So what do you think of Greg Abbott sending a lot of illegal immigrants to places like Washington, to sanctuary cities?
Well,
I mean, Ron DeSantis has done similar things.
The way I see it, I mean, if you're a sanctuary city, you should welcome these people coming in, right? A lot of people see it as a political statement or, it being politically motivated. But at this point, immigration has been politically hijacked.
The numbers were so small in the case of Martha's Vineyard. It was 50 people.
50 people.
That Ron DeSantis from
National
Venezuela
Guard
sent.
got called out. All of a sudden, people who were speaking, loud and proud about how we'll take them in, and it's just like, no, all of a sudden, I mean, people were deported right away, which doesn't happen,
But here, in one day, you might get more than 50 people, or am I overestimating that?
Oh yeah, the United States receives hundreds a day, so they're struggling with 50. Imagine how all these other border towns feel. When we first got here, some of the people that were along the border, they're getting closer now, and they're getting closer and closer. So,
so they're edging their way basically from Mexico into the US.
These people were a little bit further towards Mexico, and now they're a little bit closer to our side. You know what I mean? You have this person communicating with them right now. That's right next to us too, So it's just kind of like you don't know what's going on.
So there's someone right next to us who maybe.
You just yell at them.
Yeah.
Now it's possible that now we're even being scouted.
So you think they may have spotted us?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, you ain't doing nothing wrong. You're not hurting their pockets. But it's possible.
It's not just immigration which is spurring some Hispanics to embrace the GOP. I met up with the Republican candidate Wesley Wright to discuss how he is trying to win his heavily Hispanic district back from the Democrats. How long's the ranch been in your family?
Well, we bought this ranch in the 1850s, and so we've managed to keep part of it together well over 150 years now, so 6 generations.
And tell me a bit about what you're running for here in Texas.
So we're running for the Texas Senate in District 20, and it's been held by a long-term Democrat, and of course he's the incumbent, and we just decided it was time for a change.
Now there's a lot of Hispanics around here.
Absolutely.
And we've seen a big trend in Hispanics voting for the GOP, voting for the Republicans in recent years. Do you think that will help you in this midterm election?
Absolutely. The Democrat Party has changed, and so their ideologies don't line up with faith, family, and freedom. But the Hispanic community, the South Texas community, there's not a division in whether you're Anglo or Hispanic. We're South Texans first and foremost.
The Democrats are determined to focus on other issues in Texas, such as the recent Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade and gun control. I'm curious about this gun. It's a pink gun.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. Okay. So who's this? Is this for your daughter?
We bought that for my daughter when she was a little gal, and on single shot 22, same as these guns, and
So this is a proper gun. It can,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And how old was she when she got the gun?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Wow.
Yeah.
Should a 4-year-old? Isn't that quite young for a gun?
I think it depends on the 4-year-old and the environment, and so if you've, I don't know how it is in the UK, but did your parents ever throw you in their lap and let you steer the vehicle while it was driving down the road when you were 4 or 5?
Maybe a bit older, but yeah.
I think a vehicle would do a whole lot more damage than this little old gun. We may have to take, here, you carry
I feel a
these.
bit emasculated with this.
Well,
sort of
let me
pink gun.
have a pink gun. Golly, here, carry something that's a little,
Yeah, that's
a little
it,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, there, you carry that. hate to emasculate you this early in the day.
To give me the full Texan experience, Wesley took me to a nearby lake to do some shooting. So this is the famous AR-15 rifle.
This is it.
Why is it so controversial?
I don't know why it's controversial. All guns will do the same thing.
God, got I hear a
done?
thing. Oh, there you go, sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Wow.
What do you think?
Well, it felt very powerful. It felt more powerful than the other ones.
Well, it's a higher caliber than the 22s you were shooting.
Yeah.
Not near the recoil as the 12 gauge.
It's an extraordinary thing to shoot a gun. Honestly, I've never thought I would do that in my life. You know.
We have to come to Texas more often. Let you shoot all the guns.
Yeah. Well. But you don't think? Do you think machine guns should be legal?
When you start encroaching on people's rights as to what they can carry and what they can't carry, that's just taking some of your freedom away. And so.
But what about a tank, or you know, there's got to be some limits, right?
I don't know what those limits would be. Where do the limits stop? When they start. When they start taking away your AR-15 and they want to take away your single-shot Cricket 22, and then you're left defenseless.
Back at the ranch, I wanted to find out what had inspired Wesley to become a politician. Have you always been interested in politics?
Not at all. I've always gone out and voted, but in the recent past, the woke ideology that's being pushed by the media has brought new light to the situation.
I'm interested about the woke movement and how that has inspired you to become a political person, you know, to become a candidate for the Republicans.
I'll tell you this, Steven. 5 years ago, did you know anything about transgender? Did you know any transgender people? I didn't either. So now there's a whole new page in our dictionary with terms that aren't what people use on a daily basis. You know, for me to call you some form of a pronoun, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's everywhere. It's in our schools, it's in our communities, and it's time that we put a stop to that. And you know, men are men and women are women, and you can't wake up one day and decide you're a dog.
At the GOP's HQ in McAllen, I spoke with many Hispanics who are confident they will finally turn South Texas red in November. Do you feel sneered at by the Democrats?
Stephen, you know, Hidalgo County, where you are in right now, is a very blue county. We have not had a Republican elected countywide in over 100 years. So growing up in this county, that's what we deal with as Republicans. So sneered, not really, but I don't think that my Democratic friends hate me. I don't think that we can't play tennis together or go to lunch together. I certainly don't think that way of them. I don't agree with them, but I don't hate them. So I hate the way they vote, but I don't hate them.
In a special election here recently, the mayor of McAllen was voted to be a Republican.
That is correct.
Just down the road in one of the districts
Cameron
here,
County.
we had Mara Flores
Cameron
won
County.
a special election. So you've seen the Republicans do well here, and you talk about Hispanics, and that's one of the issues, the reasons that we're here is because more Hispanics are voting for the Republican Party. Do you expect in these midterms to finally break the Democrats' hold of Hidalgo County and other areas across Texas?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. When George W. Bush ran for president, he was a governor of Texas, he ran for president. In Cameron County, the county that you're referring to, he won the most presidential votes ever of any candidate. When Donald Trump ran the first time in Cameron County, he had the least number of votes ever. But when he ran the second time, he won the county. So that shows you a trend. What is happening? And I really believe, Stephen, that what's happening is that people in South Texas, Hispanic Americans, are beginning to see that their values align more with the Republican Party.
Why do you think Hispanics have previously voted for the Democrats in such huge numbers, particularly here in McAllen and in Hidalgo County?
Because they've been lied to. That the Republicans are the mean, evil people with horns in their heads. And I know that a lot of people down here in Hidalgo County, not only in Hidalgo County, but in the RGB, are conservatives, deep, deep down in their soul. And that's one thing that we are working for.
Do you think the Republicans had a bit of an image problem here among Hispanics?
Definitely. I can definitely say that, yes. Because the Democrats had a stronghold here. But we are working for that stronghold to be no more. Because they've been lied to. People in impoverished areas have been lied to, have been told, you got to do this for the raza, for us. You know, and it's not for us.
So they think you're a bit of a sort of Hispanic traitor, a bit of a turncoat?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember back in 2016 when Trump ran, I was about, I want to say a handful of people that was very vocal in my support of Donald Trump. I got called every name in the book, even racist, and I, you know, would tell people when they would call me racist, I was like, well, that makes me a proud Puerto Rican, Mexican, Irish racist then.
As the Democrats continue to appease left-wing activists in their party, they may be turning off more traditional communities that have made up the historic backbone of their multicultural coalition of voters. With high inflation, record levels of illegal migration, and an unpopular president, McAllen is the Republicans to lose this November.